What's happening, fishing friends? Welcome to another episode. We've got a box. Yep, unboxing. These are some things that I picked up for late fall fishing going into early winter fishing. The weather here in Iowa has been crazy. It's really killed the fall bite, but going into kind of early winter, you can still get bites. You just really have to slow down. So some of this is going to fit some of you all that still have higher water temperatures. Temps are down in the 30s here in Iowa for water temp. Going to kind of go through a little bit of this. It's going to be for different parts of the country where you can still fish a little faster, whereas in Iowa here, we're basically in winter fishing really slow. So enough talking, let's get to looking at what's in here. Starting out with a lure that I've really liked, actually Baxter the bait man had asked me about these if I had tried them. I got a couple a little while ago and I hadn't got to use them until maybe a month ago. But these are the Jacob Wheeler accent spinner baits. Really like them. They swim nice and true, and the hooks on these things are crazy sharp. I looked on it and it doesn't say who makes the hook for it. I don't know, but double willow blade, one silver blade, one gold blade, and I'm telling you what, these things are pretty sweet. I got the 1/2 ounce. They didn't have any 3/8. Usually for bank fishing, I prefer a 3/8 ounce. But these are 1/2 ounce. I know a lot of guys from the boat, that's kind of their go-to 3/8 or 1/2 ounce. But look really good. This is kind of a chartreuse shad color. The hooks on these are extremely sharp, but really cool looking spinnerbait. They swim well. You can see they do have a little bit bigger blade here. The skirt does go back past the hook. So generally on something like this, I would run a trailer hook if I can get away with it. If you're around really thick brush or, you know, kind of the fingery type wood, not just the vertical wood, you can get snagged a little bit easier. So like I say, if I can get away with it, I try to run a trailer hook on those. But got just the old trusty white color, and then that chartreuse with the white head there. And this is one you saw in a video not too long ago. I got one that was like 38 degrees rolling this spinnerbait, exactly, that one right there, over wood, and I was still able to catch a bass. So I know a lot of guys give up when it's cold. Don't give up. Just means you got to slow down and switch up some of your presentations. Now, sticking with spinnerbaits, my absolute all-time favorite spinnerbait. I used these a ton when I was younger. Mann's was absolutely my favorite brand. The Mann's Hank Parker Classic spinnerbaits. Now, something to look at cool for these, they always come with that little twin tail straight trailer deal. And that used to be one of the only things I would use on a spinnerbait, was that or a ribbon tail worm. And with these, I got these in 3/8. The cool thing about these Mann spinnerbaits, and I don't know if there's any other companies that do it. If they don't, I don't know why they don't. But I'll just rip this off here. Check out that. You don't find companies doing that with the spinnerbaits. They actually twisted this part around so you've got an actual circle, a ring there where your line goes. So you don't have to worry about that line coming off and twisting like with the regular spinnerbait. See, unlike that Jacob Wheeler accent spinnerbaits, that's how most spinnerbaits are. Just kind of an open loop right there. I don't know why more companies don't do that with their spinnerbaits and close that right there where your line tie goes. Brilliant. But yeah, the Mann spinnerbaits, I mean, a little bit bigger presence, a little bit bigger blade there. You can see a little bit larger willow blade, a little bit bigger profile, great in muddy, dirty water. Love them. I saw them, I had to get them. I honestly didn't even know they still sold them. Hooks are super sharp on it. Mann stuff back in the day used to be my absolute killer. Even the packaging looks like kind of old school packaging. Maybe these are just overstock. I don't know. Hank Parker was the man, one of my absolute favorites. I did get to meet him at the Classic a few years ago. Super funny cat. Yeah, Mann spinnerbaits. Next up, switching gears just a little bit. This was not something that I wanted to use for fall fishing, but I saw that these were new. The Zero Minnow 130 from Spro. It's actually a wake bait. So what does it say here? 0 to 1 foot diving range, great castability, loud rattle calls fish. The wake bait game is something that I really haven't got into a bunch. I don't throw wake baits a lot. That's probably something I'm going to work on more next year. Just, you know, trying to figure out when do they work, when do you switch to a wake bait versus a topwater. Oh, ow, those hooks are sharp. Yep, those are sharp. They come equipped with gammies. So that's what we're looking at there. Pretty large profile. Almost looks like an oversized jerkbait. I bet the pike will hammer this too, but just kind of got, it looks like the I Know It color in the S-Waver that I get. Kind of that shad top with a little bit of a chartreuse line there, a white belly, kind of a sparkly top there. But just, I thought, kind of a cool wake bait. I got that white color and then a chrome. You can never go wrong with those two in topwater. So I figured that's what I'm going to start with for these little bit larger jerkbait style wake baits. So I thought these would be fun to throw around. You know, you can just cast them and retrieve them. With a lip like that, I can probably kind of, you know, work it like a jerkbait and twitch it back. I don't know. I just thought they were cool, new. Like I said, I haven't thrown the wake baits much, so we're gonna give those a try. Okay, next up, I grabbed a handful of lipless crankbaits that are new to me. These are not new on the market, but these are the Arashi Vibes. These are something that I've never used. I want to say somebody had really good luck with these in one of the Bassmasters or MLF. I think it was Ott Defo maybe? Don't quote me on that, but I've never used them before. They have kind of a little bit different sound, I noticed. More of like a one-knocker sound. What's really cool, let me take one out here, is they have a self-tuning line tie on them. As you can see, they're a self-tuning line tie. Now, what does that mean? Let me show you. So you can see here up at the top, the line tie actually moves, which is nice because, you know, when you have some lipless crankbaits or just kind of regular crankbaits, if it's not running straight, if it's kind of running off to one side or the other, you have to tune that top and kind of, you know, bend it one way or the other to make it flatten out and go straight like it should. This, it says, is supposed to do that automatically for you. Hooks are good and sharp on it. Colors on this are kind of interesting. It's like a grayish, dark colored top with kind of a cream, almost bone colored belly. What do they call this one? Hot Dirty Shad. Ooh. But I like that color. Just kind of a good bait fish imitation. Good sound to it. I like the Arashi stuff. I've used their stuff before, so never used them. I thought it was just a little bit different look and kind of shape, so gonna try some. They're 9/16 of an ounce, so just a little over a half ounce. I got that green gill color there. I like that. Of course, the chrome blueback, a chrome color is always good to have when you're trying to mimic some bait fish. The red and orange rusty craw, I like that color a lot. A very simple natural wakasagi, I like that. A little bit clear water, black silver shad, very natural translucent color. And finally, one that I'm gonna use this spring for sure, red craw. If you haven't thrown red in spring, especially on a lipless, it's killer. I didn't buy into it for the longest time, no joke, it works. Okay, switching gears a little bit, let's talk about some more finesse jigs. Now, these are some jigs from Jewel Bait Company. I had never heard of them. I saw them on my order and I figured, you know what, why not? Let's check them out. Threw them in my tackle warehouse cart and they look pretty sweet. I gave some of these to Randizzle. You know, we're big fans of the War Eagle heavy finesse jigs, but check out these. So it's got that same round ball head. I think this type does the absolute best when you're bank fishing, especially around a bunch of riprap. A small round ball head does the best. Now, I also got some football jigs, but those are more for dragging. They stand up a little bit better as you're dragging them. I don't get to do that as much from the bank. That's more of a boat cast out onto some, you know, solid ground, maybe a small drop off. But around riprap, I don't think, you know, the big chunky riprap, I don't think a football head does as well. I personally really like that round ball head. Now I got these in the 5/16 ounce. 5/16 is my absolute favorite jig size when I'm throwing from the bank. These have a little bit stouter wire hook, so I do like to throw mine on a Baitcaster nice and stout. It still has that light, you know, weed guard. It's not a ton of stuff there to get caught up. Nice, small, compact profile. They've already trimmed it all up. Very, very nice, clean looking finesse jig. So I wanted to try some of these. That color is called Bass Whacker. Green pumpkin color with a little bit of orange and chartreuse on it. I really like that one. Of course, I couldn't pick some up without grabbing some black and blue, a color that does really well around here. And then this color they call Candy, kind of that sprayed grass, almost like a watermelon with some purple in it and some flake. I like that color too. So some Jewel Bait Company finesse jig. Comes in a 2-pack. They didn't cost a lot either. I want to say like $5 for the 2-pack. So affordable. We're gonna see how they do, but so far they look pretty good. Sticking with the jigs, I told you I got some football jigs. I got some of the Strike King Tour Finesse football jigs. Now, like I said, these are great for dragging. They come with that gammy hook already on them, so nice and sharp. But a little finesse jig like this, when you've got some solid ground, you know, maybe more of that pebbly type rock, you know, smaller chunk rock, but I don't think the football head does as well in the really big chunky stuff. But when you've got a good solid place to drag it, a football jig is absolutely deadly. And with these are a finesse version. So with the winter, colder water, a little bit of a finesse jig like that does absolutely great. And like I said, I wasn't on the finesse train, but Randizzle really had to open my eyes to them. I probably would have just been throwing like a shaky head or a Ned rig, but there's been days where he's just flat out fished me with a finesse jig, even over the Ned rig. It's crazy, but yeah, definitely become a big fan of the finesse jigs. They work. This is just a small finesse version of that football jig. Got that color, green pumpkin. Grab some watermelon red flake. And then of course the black and blue. I grabbed a couple of each in 3/8 and then also in the 1/4 ounce. Okay, a couple kind of specialty jigs. I had posted this on Instagram and had a ton of people asking, what are those jigs? Where can I get them? Can you tell me more? So if you want to go real finesse, Z-Man has, I forget what they are, the Shroom Mushroom Head Finesse jigs. I've had really good luck with those. I like them a lot. I saw these, they're kind of similar and I wanted to try it. These are from Kitech, called the Mono Spin Jig. And I think the reason is because it's got such a light wire on it. You want to throw this on a spinning combo. You see they're very small light wire. I got these in 3/30 seconds. I can throw these on my finesse spinning rod rig. Probably going to be like 10-pound braid to an 8 or even 6-pound fluorocarbon leader. But a very small finesse option. Great for those spots where it's really pressured. You want to downsize. It's just a really cool different look. I don't see anybody around here in Iowa throwing anything like this. Just a way to separate yourself from everybody else who's just throwing a regular, mop jig. Going real small, going finesse. Now these are nice because it's probably hard to see there, but these do have a hand-tied skirt on it, so it's not a rubber. It's actually, it looks like almost like a twine, a braid or something that's tied it together. It's just got the one little wire keeper there, so it's not 100% weedless. Just kind of helps with a little bit of that, but a very small finesse presentation. Now the trailer I put on these, and I had a bunch of people asking, is the Missile Baits Drop Craw. Very cool little finesse jig trailer, a tiny looking little craw. I think actually these are supposed to be used as like a drop shot deal, but for these really small jigs like this, I bite off maybe an inch of the front of it, and you've got a little deal that looks like that. Let me rig it up, hold on. That's what you end up with. Isn't that an awesome little tasty morsel? It's got the 2 little claws back there. Looks just like a little tiny crawfish, a little very small, compact, even like on those new moons, I forget when that is, June, July or whatever, when there's that big crawfish hatch. Something like this, I bet, would be deadly when there's a bunch of little small crawfish around. Look at that. Isn't that a tasty looking morsel? The Kitech Mono Spin Jig with the Missile Baits. I like their stuff. They got some really good stuff out there. The Drop Craw, I got that in a black. And I also got some in the Summer Craw, which is that green pumpkin with kind of the chartreuse belly there. Okay, sticking with the small finesse jigs, I grabbed some of these from Kahara. 2.6 grams, I don't know what that is. Alexa, what's 2.6 grams in ounces?
2.6 grams is about 0.092 ounces.
Okay, so as you can see, very light little jig, but check this out, look at that. I got the green pumpkin, it's got like some of the Flashaboo type stuff in there. Really cool little finesse looking jig there. I got that green pumpkin with purple in it. Just a different look, a weird, strange, very thin strands on the jig there. So I bet that's gonna look awesome in the water. Those little things are just gonna flutter. There's the other one, a black with some red on it. It's got a little bit of the longer black skirt. It's got the red tails. Just kind of a cool, different look. Super sticky, sharp hooks on them. Again, just a little bit different. Very finesse jig. So this is something I'm gonna fish on a spinning combo. You can't horse the fish in with this, otherwise you're just gonna bend that hook out. It's a tiny wire hook, fishing it just like I would a little Ned rig. So we'll see how those do. Again, the little Kahara finesse jigs. Okay, another soft plastic that I got, I've heard a lot of talk and chatter around these, the G-Crack or G-Crack. These are the little crawfish, what do they call them? Bellows Craw. I was gonna pick up some of the gills and stuff. I honestly didn't think about it. I saw these kind of on impulse and thought, dang, those things do look pretty sweet. It's a little 3.5 inch, and man, they have a stink to them. I don't know if that's some sort of like seafoody squid, I don't know. Almost smells kind of good. But I just got the green pumpkin, the large bulbous little claws there. It's got the little antenna deals here that stick out. It's got the little legs. Very cool looking. I figured these would actually pair well on one of the War Eagle finesse jigs. Little 3.5 inch trailer. Very cool looking. You can see it's ribbed all around. Really cool looking profile. That smell is really unique. It's almost like a cooked seafood. I don't even know what to say. I don't know. The G-Crack Bellows Craw. Definitely interested to see how those do. Okay, the last soft plastic I got in here. Top Shelf. This must be a smaller bait company. I've never heard of them, but this is a little drop shot lure they call the Diamondback Quiver. 3.25 inch. I saw them and I just thought the colors looked really neat. It looks like more of a custom hand pour. It's got that green pumpkin, but you can see it's got that kind of iridescent purple all throughout it. What do they call this? Green Pumpkin Sunset. And some of them have a little bit more of the swirl in it than others, but just a cool green pumpkin with a purple look to it. And green pumpkin purple is one of my absolute favorite colors. So I figured drop shot, I figured Ned rig for these, little small shaky head, a number of different ways you could use them. Love the look of them, love the colors. We'll see how they do. Diamondback quiver. All right, almost to the end here, only a couple things left. Since it's pretty much winter fishing here in Iowa, some blade baits. Something that I haven't fished a ton of, but I know people have luck with them on the river, spillways, anywhere you can jig them and just kind of let them flutter down, pop it up, jig it, let it flutter down. A really nice, slow way to fish. I got two different kinds. Buckeye lures, the jig and blade, small, very normal looking, nothing crazy colored. This was just all gold. You can see they're just a flat gold blade. That's all it is. A little weight in front. These are 1/4 ounce. Good sharp hooks on it. There you go. Very simple technique at catching fish in the winter. You can fish them slow. So I got those, and I grabbed some of the cotton cordels in 3/8 and a 1/4 ounce. I'm guessing 1/4 is what I'll probably use more for bank fishing, but got some white, some gold, and then I grabbed a chrome blueback. Last thing in the box is something that there's been a ton of chatter about, or I guess maybe you want to say jabber, the 13 Fishing Jabberjaw. Now what makes this interesting is it's a square bill, so really cool looking square bill crankbait there you can see, but the bill moves and chatters back and forth, so it's like a mix between a square bill and a chatterbait. They finally had them in stock. I picked up a few different colors. What was this one? Fire and Ice Craw. Really neat colors on it. It's got that iridescent, kind of pearlescent paint there that gives a nice reflection. Really cool look on it. Interested to see how these do. The hooks on them are super, super sharp. Cool color. I like it. I'm interested to see how they do. What do they say about it? Anything special? Jabberjaw bill provides erratic swimming action. Patent pending metal cheeks provide enhanced clicking noise. VMC Premium Hybrid Black Nickel Treble Hooks. Seems like a solid lure. I know 6 Cents made some of these as well. I wanted to try theirs, but they were completely out, so grabbed a couple of these. I also picked up the green gizzard shad, kind of a holographic iridescent green look to it. For spring, the red, they call that Mud Bug Punch. Nice red-orange color. This one they call, well, we'll call it brown and yellow shad, I guess. They've got the bright citrus shad, almost like a chartreuse sexy shad spin. Those do really well on my local lake here. I like that color a lot. Hopefully I don't lose it. And they call that one Dream Gill. Last but not least, I could not get a bluegill color. Little chartreuse on the tail there. Cool look to it. Cool looking little lures. Really interested to see how these do from 13 Fishing, the Jabberjaw. Oh, what does it weigh? They're all floating. They dive 2 to 4 feet and they weigh 9/16 of an ounce. So as you can see there, they do give you the specs. Interested to throw these, should be good from bank fishing, 2 to 4 feet, not getting super deep with them. All right, fishing friends, that's gonna do it for me tonight. Comment below and let me know what your favorite was out of all these. What are you looking to see? The Jabberjaw, you like that? Maybe some winter blade fishing, those are kind of cool. Maybe you wanna see some of these little finesse jigs in action. Comment below and let me know. I love hearing from all of you. And be specific because it's giveaway time. A small way for me to say thank you to all of you that continue to support and watch. It really does mean a lot to me. So comment below. I'm going to include, you know, whatever you're picking, looking at, trying. I'm also going to throw in some favorite lures of mine for fall fishing. I know some of you can still get out and fish. If not, you can use them next spring or whenever. Just want to give back to all of you. Now, tonight's subscribed fishing friend is Midwest Fisherman. We chatted back and forth on Instagram. He said he'd lose his hat if I shouted him out. So, sir, you better start looking for a new hat. And thank you everybody else who continues to support. Means a lot to me. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much. I've seen a lot of new names and people down below in the comments. Means a lot to me. If you like my content, consider subscribing, liking the videos. It helps me out. We're continuing to grow. The more support I get, the more of these unboxings I can do, the more I can do for all of you in the form of giveaways and such. So that's going to do it for me. I got to get all this cleaned up and edit. So thank you all so much for watching. Until next time,